can't find a but I see it in you, so we gon' walk it out. Mountains, we gon' walk it out.
As she moves in the beauty that surrounds her, she listens to the wind in the trees and the rushing sound of the creek. She's becoming more like her old self each day, healing her pain through movement. This path in the forest becomes her sanctuary. It fuels her creative spirit and opens up her heart to dream again. On her walk, she sees a young woman. She is captivated by her beauty and strength. The forest feels enchanted and magical this particular day, empty of others except for the squirrels and the birds and the passing woman. Walking on, she is reminded of memories from her past, where she felt happy and connected to herself and her purpose. It was in the mountains where she soared like a bird on her snowboard beneath her strong legs, carving her edges into the deep Kootenai powder. She felt the same power and connection on her mountain bike. Steep, grinding climbs up picturesque peaks ignited her inner drive. She remembers the years in the wilderness planting trees all over Western Canada, alone on the cut block, placing her spade into the earth like an orchestrated rhythmic dance as the seedlings went into the soil one by one. She felt most at home in her body in those days, in tune with Mother Nature. With the ponytailed woman lingering in her memory, she continues on her loop. The bright memories start to fade, and the dark ones creep back in. She sees herself on the side of the road. The apples no longer lay heavy in the branches. The grapes in the vineyards have been harvested. This is the same road where her mother was in labor with her, and her father is buried. She is screaming, asking herself, why did she stay for so long, trying to please him? The last dark memory comes with a pain unlike anything she has ever felt before. She is beside her mother's bed at the hospice. The fountain outside is crying its tears. Her mother is dying. But she can't be dying. She is through that awful divorce, and her Peachland angel told her she saw her dancing, wearing yellow, and healing this year. Her word this year is shine. How can she dance and shine without her mother? She walks on. When the woman with the ponytail passes her a third time on the path, goosebumps come all over her arms. She knows this is a sign to pay attention. God is nudging her. She is brought back into the present, back into the simplicity of the moment in the forest. She needs to stop her this time and share her story.
She works hard to unsee the danger because it will ruin everything she has wanted all her life. She is trapped by so many things, rabbit holes, temptations to numb the pain. She needs to get out. It's inevitable that he will strike again. It's only a matter of time. The thunder of his anger is deeply rooted, a beast he can't control, a fragile young boy inside who must have been broken along the way. Staying keeps her light on dim, soaked in pain, a crowded place filled with sadness and isolation. Her pain is big, visible, and revealing. She's trying to hide this from the people she loves, but it's really hard because the battle is real and it's very dark. She doesn't know how to get off the merry-go-round. It's moving too fast, and now she's moving too slow. Her body aches. She is tired of feeling shameful and fearful in this place. A verse keeps coming to her. Ask and it will be given to you. Seek and you will find. Knock and it will be open for you. Please send me women who can lift me up. I need help. I can't do this alone anymore. At that moment, in her safe space, surrounded by her armor, her cameras, lights, and props, the things she has tried to hide her pain behind, a vivid vision comes to her mind's eye. She sees herself carrying a light onto a stage. The seats at her feet are filled with women, daughters, mothers, and grandmothers. In her vision, the light in her hands is full of hope.
Well, my journey with the Now community, when I encounter women that come to our program and are, seeking ways to heal their lives, they often come in the room packaging themselves the best way they can to be accepted. They come in a little guarded, a little bit afraid, hoping to say the right thing and really looking for acceptance. And over time, and paying attention and noticing their lives, we start to help them peel back some of the layers of their pain and show us a little truer version of themselves. Sometimes some of them have to get kicked out before they realize that and then come back. They get that reset or that reboot. But at the end of the day, I think they come with little trust and they're guarded. And when they start to discover that we're there to empower them and to equip them and to love them and believe in them, and over time, we gain a special relationship. And then we start to really, really discover who they are and what their hopes are for their life. And it's pretty beautiful. It's pretty transformational.
Before I came into this program, I was not in a good place mentally. I was in a really dark space, and I developed a lot of unhealthy coping mechanisms trying to deal with some of my life experiences. And I came here just thinking that it would give me some tools to change and deal with those a little bit better. Instead, it completely overhauled my entire life. I learned how to make new connections and open my heart and mind to other people and other women specifically, which was something I was always very hesitant to before. And I learned how to trust again and how to trust myself and be at peace.
I was so intimidated by Wendy. I did not understand how any one person could be that optimistic and that charismatic. And I was like, oh my gosh, I don't know. And I felt like I was gonna let her down. And that scared me. But the thought of changing it was almost more scary for so long, and then suddenly the thought of not changing it was the more terrifying thing. But looking back on it, it was good to feel that way. It definitely pushed me to try to be better. But yeah, I really admire Wendy. She's such a beautiful soul, and she always has a positive outlook on things. Even when it seems like no one's gonna be able to find the positives, Wendy's got 10. And she's so strong and she's so brave. I don't know, I really admire who she is as a person and as a woman.
The Essentials program is for women who wish to leave a life of addictions. It's a 4-month program and recognizes the fact that you need multiple factors to help somebody on this road to recovery. So we provide safe housing, we provide a 4-month life skills program, as well as client support. Important part of the program is individual trauma therapy. We do equine therapy with horses up in Vernon. And we also do an arts program, holistic therapy, really anything that can help women stabilize and walk that road to recovery.
So many times it was taken, I didn't know how to stop it. And all the times I gave it away, I didn't think of saying no. Then the times I sold it off. I didn't know my worth. Now I feel at home inside and thankful for rebirth.
I just left a conference with the Ministry of Children. My son had been taken from my custody, and they had all but given up on me. And I knew I needed a change, and I didn't know how to do it. So I walked over from the ministry office to the library, and I Googled women's recovery. I found Now Canada, filled out that form, and they called me the next day. When I started the Now program, I knew that I was up for something big. There was going to be a huge change in my life. There was no other way to do it. I was fully committed, and I knew that recovery and a new life is what I wanted, and that's exactly what happened at Now Canada. It was kind of like they handed me a manual on how to grow up, how to find my inner child way back when, frozen in time, and take her hand and grow up with her.
As she approaches her teaching within the Now classroom, she approaches each woman learning where they're at, what they need, how can she help them.
Once I met these ladies, I talked to the executive director, Liz Talbot. I said, how do I get involved in this community? And here I am today.
Squirrel lesson. He stood immobile, staring at the prize, deciding, calculating the risk. I'd not seen a squirrel remain so still. He balanced at the end of a waning branch like an oversized bauble. His hope was obvious, the beckoning arm of a large pine, a route to the heights. But now with a turn, resignation, the thrilling shortcut abandoned, he scumbles through the forest mat and up the giant by a less glorious route. Sometimes you have to go down to go up. I was always trying to find a way to make what I had bubbling inside of me a way to give to others. All the women that were coming in the Essentials program didn't necessarily sign up for art. So this was a new thing for them.
What I learned is when I started to paint, everything else in the world disappeared. And I didn't feel pain, and I wasn't going through those stories over and over in my mind of loss and grief. I was immersed in color. I was enchanted by the creative process, and my imagination just kept getting more stimulated, and the freedom to play and make a mess and to work with color and design, it just made my heart sing. And now it is a mandatory part of my everyday life.
The expressive arts is just an offering for people, and we run it in a certain way that we work through a variety of invitations. The expressive arts. It's not an art lesson where they're learning to do something. You have to start here and you have to end here. It's not about producing a perfect piece of artwork. It's about the play aspect of discovering things.
This is a really beautiful way to tell a story. And story is a way that we all connect to each other and find a way of being part of something so much bigger than ourselves. But one woman specifically, unfortunately, crossed really unhealthy individuals that hurt her. They exploited her and they damaged her as a human, as a woman. And in the process of body mapping, she reconnected with her dignity and with her worth.
Just one of the gals whose work is in this class at the moment said to me, I didn't realize that I was so meticulous. I lost that when I wasn't sober.
When I first started, and we started the doll project in art class, I didn't really have any idea how deep this would go. They told us to think of a time where we felt safe and loved completely. That's the first time I met inner me back in time, and it was a really cathartic experience to build this doll and share it with the women in my class and to hear their stories as well.
Like, there was one woman that came in that just lost her mother, who was a pillar of beauty and strength in every single way. And she was really, really grieving. Absolutely, it's actually kind of unforgettable because she literally parked diagonally right across the whole road, left her car in park and running, and the door open, and ran across with her arms wide open and just leaped into my arms. And tears were flowing from her face at the time. And she goes, "I don't know if you know this, but Shirley isn't here anymore. And I can't believe that you've crossed my path because you and my mom had a special relationship and she spoke about you all of the time. And I'm just been driving, I've been sad, I'm struggling, and then there you were. So I just needed to come over and I needed to see you, I needed to be with you, I needed to talk with you, I needed to share my story." I just randomly invited her to come play at the studio, and she's a beautiful artist herself. And she came in and just sat there and was totally engaged. And it's interesting because there's a sense of quiet in the room. This flowing, angelic piece of art came out of it, an angel. And it was a very spiritual connection that this woman had made to her doll. You know what was beautiful about it is everybody in the room connected to it. Through our pain and vulnerability, we make room for others to come forth with their pain and vulnerability. It's a place to heal deeply and connect meaningfully. The invitation to be a game changer is to simply notice. I really believe when God gives a gift, he wraps it in a person. So if you have the time to just stop and notice, you will discover something absolutely beautiful.
Having a multitude of different speakers come in, usually you link up with one of them in particular. There's somebody that we see that the girls can't wait to get into the classroom. And if we can just offer that little bit of hope through individual speakers.
I see you. Oh, my dear one, there you are. I have been waiting for this day for so long, to see you, to meet you, and to love you just as you are. I know you have been there all along, from the moment you took your first breath, but then things along the way made you hide your brilliance, made you question your intuition, made you feel undeserving of your desires. But that is not your reality anymore. You have seen the truth so clearly that it can never be unseen. That you are love embodied. You are truth expressed. You are power unleashed. Thank you for staying the course. Thank you for saying yes to the soul whispers that guided you back to you. Thank you for loving yourself enough to shed it all and become completely reborn. This is your life now, and I am so very proud of you, sweet one. I believe that every single one of us has a story worth sharing. And I also know that when we share our stories, we share them not for ourselves. We share them to help others to see themselves in our stories.
I would absolutely tell any woman who's stuck in a relationship that she can't break free from to know that her self-worth matters. And it's so important that she sees herself in a place where she knows she deserves better, where she deserves more, where her life and all that's possible for her is just waiting to unfold, to go after the things that matter to you.
There's seasons, right? You know, you have seasons of those people. They come and they go, and that's okay.
You in turn can encourage them. And it becomes this wonderful, beautiful reciprocal effect of people helping each other, holding each other up, and really allowing people to be what's most important to them.
I like to be accountable to somebody who I trust, who has a similar sense of morals as I do. And so as I'm going through life and as they're going through life, it's just a relationship where we can go back and forth and talk about maybe struggles we're seeing within one another's lives, or celebrate the real high points and the growth.
For a long time, I was really afraid to even step out of my house. I was so worried that my perpetrator was going to be right around the corner or in the grocery store waiting for me to come out of a yoga class. It took me a long time to get the courage to really step out and be on my own, and even to be in the public or be anywhere that he could find me or see me. And so this trip to Cyclocross Canada is truly a great mission for me. I'm doing it for charity. I'm doing it with my current husband and my love of my life and partner. But I really am doing it to show women and everyone that anything and everything is possible. I never was an athlete, but I knew one day I wanted to wake up and show people that you can just get up off the couch one day and do something. And so I decided I was going to do something big and bold and cycle all the way from Vancouver to Newfoundland, raise money for charity, and just prove to people that if you have a dream and if you have an idea, you don't have to know how to do it. You just have to decide to do it. You just make it to the finish line, and you learn so much along the way.
When I'm going about my day, I'm always in tune to what it is that I feel the Holy Spirit is speaking to my life. And then hopefully I can begin to be a shining light for the other people around me.
It's not about the end result, it's about the journey.
Contemplating dying at the hands of the man who said that he would love, honor, and cherish me until death do us part was not something I expected to be doing at all. I'm just 23 and full of life. How did I get here? I smirk at my naivety. I had taken away the message that only weak women who have no self-esteem stay in marriages like that. I've always loathed the thought of being a victim or vulnerable in any way. A mottled combination of pink, blue, and violet bruises appear in varying stages around my neck, arms, and shoulders. I'm battered, broken. I feel pathetic. Is that even me? I don't quite recognize myself, or it doesn't register. The whites of my eyes are no longer their natural shade. They're entirely crimson, a deep, dark shade of crimson that borders on burgundy. Had I not caught a glimpse of myself, I wouldn't know that they're such a disturbing hue. I'm bewildered as to how my eyes could have no trace of white in them whatsoever. I stare, unmoving, transfixed by my own reflection. I believe we're all whole, complete, perfect, that what we seek is within us, and that the process of healing is actually a shedding of all of the pieces that aren't us, that are not us, and were never us. So do I believe we're broken? No. I believe that we return ourselves to wholeness, but that there was never anything broken to start with. We must be around people who are committed to holding one another up if we are going to continue to heal, be held, hold others, and become lighthouses for others in the world.
Wow. Those are very profound and soulful words, a hope that comes from a really beautiful place for a daughter, for a child, for anyone you deeply love. I really believe grief and pain, struggle, we can get stuck in that a little bit. And especially if you're a person that has a really beautiful light and has many, many gifts, it's harder to come out from under those dark places because there's always something working against our power, our potential, our light. But the truth is, as soon as you step out in yours, which this person, I believe, sees that in this girl and this woman, really has faith that the light will have a ripple effect in everybody's path that she crosses. I trust that voice. That voice is more than coming from a person. I really think that's a spiritual connection in that message.
As the two souls part near the top of the stairs, the sun begins to set, streaking the sky with yellow and gold tones. The colors are reminding her of the yellow party and the dream she had before her mother died. It's a beautiful day at her house on the hill. She is celebrating her mother on her 65th birthday. She feels pretty that day in her yellow dress. The room is adorned with balloons and flowers. Women and children are laughing, eating, and sharing stories about a precious pearl. A woman who lived her life with purpose and passion. A pillar who endured the hard and the ugly with grace and bravery. A woman who loved to read animal medicine cards and who had vision boards behind her bedroom door before they were cool. A mother who was anchored in her values, faith, and family. A shiny example who looked for the third way in hard situations. Shirley, my mother, the pearl, the squirrel, graciously every day, proudly with her crown, sat at the table because she was the daughter of the highest king. As she approaches the last step on the stairs that will lead her home, she stops. She calls this the step of forgiveness. This place frees her from the illusion of time. She knows now she was never alone, and her mother is always with her. Because without the darkness, there can be no light. She, who she is now, vulnerable and revealing, is twice as beautiful. She is you. We never know when we're going to lose something so incredibly precious until it's gone. Just like that. Dust in the wind, in the light swirling in the water, clinging to the sunlight and the flowers. We wish we were going to the store to get the flowers and the balloons for the yellow party, but instead, we now have to release them to nature, an offering of peace and love. A love so deep that we can hardly breathe with its loss. But we breathe and we continue. With every goodbye, we learn.